Greetings, 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 peace. Well, you already know with the peace, wholesome, wholesome, love, light. All right, let me just make sure I have audio, make sure everything is good. We're about to get have a great build as usual. Okay. Give me a second here, guys. Okay, cool. Let me know if you guys could hear me. Let me get a little feedback. Let me get a little feedback from the chat. Let me know if you guys could hear me. Let me know if you guys could hear me. Okay, yes, if you guys could hear me. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So audio is good, audio is good, audio is good, audio is good. So I'm gonna say high vibes to each and every one of y'all. As you could see, well, even before I get started, I just want to take the time out to, give thanks to the Great Spirit. You know what I mean? I want to take, this time out to give thanks to, the Most High, man. None of this is possible, without acknowledging the universal source, the universal intelligence. None of this is possible without acknowledging my ancestors. You know what I mean? I honor them every single day. There's not a second of the day without me thanking and acknowledging my ancestors, because I know that by honoring them, my days will be extended. You know what I'm saying? And it may not be extended physically. It doesn't really even matter to me, because the physical body to me is just a vessel. You know what I'm saying? It's just a tool. It's just a vehicle. And the real me, indoors, you know what I'm saying, is immortal. So that's what I'm really focused on, just really stepping back into the deity that I am. You know what I mean? And I'm here to tell each and every one of you this evening that there is nothing ordinary about you, regardless of what the system, the world, say about us. It doesn't matter what they portray us to be. Deep down within our core, we are deities. You know what I'm saying? And they know this. And that's why they have to do everything in their power to prevent us from shining. But I'm here to tell you this evening that your light, okay, continue to let your light shine. And I'm always walking in the light. It doesn't matter what you do. Okay, it doesn't matter what people say about you. Don't let people take away your light. Okay, continue to shine, because we are living in an age where, it's about each and every one of us coming into the knowledge. You feel me? There is no one man or one woman that's the leader of anybody. Okay, we all have to step up into that leadership role so that we could pick up our people wholesomely. Yes, there may be some of us, okay, that will take certain roles, okay, that may seem to be a role of leadership. But when it comes to me, I tell people that I wasn't honored or gifted the title of being chief because I feel I'm over anybody. That's not what it means, okay? The ancestors graced me with that title because of the walk that I have to take to set the precedence for my people. You feel what I'm saying? But my goal is to teach each and every one of you how to step back into, okay, the energy of being a deity. And that's what you are. You feel me? And I'm saying deity just to avoid using the term God, but in lack of a better word, God. You feel me? But as you could see, man, it's a constant bliss. It's blessings, from above, from within, from life. Life is love and love is life. You feel me? And there's no more time for negativity, man. There's no time for negativity. It's about unification. But within the scope and the realm of uniting, the truth has to be told. The truth has to be told, because you see, any foundation that's built on lies or misconceptions, it will never last. And I'm asking each and every one of you to take away the negative emotions from the message I'm about to bring tonight. Okay? I know we all may have different opinions and different beliefs, but I'm avoiding bringing beliefs and opinions to my platform. I want to bring facts. I want to bring truth. I want to bring the light. And when anything is my opinion, I will let you know. However, I am moving in the spirit, okay? And it's a beautiful thing. Now, before I even proceed, I just want to thank Autochthonous One for taking the video I actually did, the interview I did with the guy from the Cherokee Nation, and just sharing it on his channel and expounding on it a little more and breaking it down. So I'm thankful for that. And I'm also thankful to each and every one of you for playing your part, for sharing the video. I mean, in my opinion, the video has over 1,600 views within the past 48 hours, and to me that's a lot. To me, that's going viral. You feel me? At least to me. I'm content with it. Keep on sharing it, because I tell people I don't do this for the likes. I do this for the love. You feel me? It's about time that we, the original people of this land, we are acknowledged and we are respected, okay, as the original people. We have given the world so much, but the world has lost respect for us because we allow invaders, we allow colonizers to come into our land, change our identity, and take everything from us. That is one of the main reasons why they don't respect us. You feel me? Because we don't know, the majority of us don't know who we are. And the world is watching. They're waiting for us to wake up and restore our legacy, because we have always been the progenitors of the world. We gave the world civilization, but they taught us history in reverse. So with that being said, I'm thankful, I'm grateful. And the video that I did, interviewing or questioning, the gentleman from the Cherokee Nation, it was well received, and there was no malice in doing that video. It was just me, again, being led by the Spirit to seek the truth. And when you seek truth in truth, then you will find the truth. You feel me? And just to make things clear, I didn't call the Cherokee Nation to be a part of the Cherokee Nation. No, because they are federally recognized, and that means they are subjected to a federal government that could tell them what to do. So that means they are not sovereign on this land. They are subjected. They are still slaves. You feel me? So I didn't call to be a part of it. I called to investigate, to pull the truth out of these people that is continuously lying, usurping our identity, usurping our culture, and even more so the hatred that they have for us. All right. As you see and as you heard, it was quite evident that these people have a strong hatred for us. And I am actually truly, truly disappointed, because their elders know the truth, but they continue to perpetuate the lie, okay, in assisting the colonizers and the invaders to fight us and take what belongs to us. But you feel me? At the end of the day, that will not stand. It will not stand, because the universe only deals with truth. Okay, the universe only deals with truth. The universe will allow you, okay, to play your games, to lie, to deceive, to live these fraudulent lives, okay? Tell the untruths. The universe will only allow you to do that to a certain extent. But one thing people have to realize with nature is this: when nature is tired of all the chaos, okay, of everything that's not natural, nature will intercede, and nature will get rid of all those who are not walking in truth. So I'm not worried about that. That's why, to me, it's imperative that I, Chief Kalanago, have to walk in truth. I don't care what anybody say about me. The truth of the matter is, I know who I am. The truth of the matter is, I know that I walk in truth and I walk in light. And no matter what anybody say, they cannot put my light out. Period. You feel me? So I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. So I just wanted to emphasize that I didn't do this video because I wanted to call the Cherokee Nation to be a part of it. I already know it's a fraud. Okay? I already know it's a fraud. I called because I had to expose that, because there are a lot of our people that's still going around, okay, not realizing that we are the original people. Okay? And that truth had to be told. Now, I know you see in the video earlier that I did, and I'm just going to tell y'all again exactly how that came about. I know I actually explained it, but I have to tell you again. Okay? Give me a second. Let me just arrange this so I could Bear with me here, guys. Okay. All right, let me just put this up here. Okay. All right, cool. So like I said, I went to South Jersey, you know what I mean? And we had a great time, man. We were having a great time. We cooked, we grilled, and I had me some wild salmon with some wild rice. And after that, the spirit led me to just take a nap and go meditate for a little bit. You know what I mean? And I was asking about Trader Joe's. I mean, I wasn't hungry. Okay, I wasn't hungry, but the spirit just kept me, just the thought of just going to Trader Joe's for whatever reason, just to see what they had. And I'm talking about, I put Trader Joe's in the GPS, and it was literally, I'm talking about, no exaggeration, 25 minutes away from where I was at. Now, why would I get into the truck, okay, or the Jeep rather, and go to Trader Joe's without knowing if I want anything 25 miles? Okay, it just didn't make sense. But like I tell everybody, I move in the spirit. Okay, I have grown so much in my awareness of who I am as a deity. I know that the physical body doesn't control my spirit. My spirit is the head or the leader, okay, of my physical body. So I always move when the spirit tells me to move, and I'm very obedient when my ancestors speak to me. You feel me? So I was summoned to go to Trader Joe's, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go. So I told my brother, hey, let me get the keys. I'm gonna go to Trader Joe's. So I'm traveling. Put that in the GPS, and I'm traveling, right? And then I would say within about 2 miles, between 2 and 3 miles, okay, I kind of like within my peripherals, I saw that there was how would I call it? A store that sell antiques, okay? And I was like, wow, whenever I see those stores, the first thing I always like to pull over and go check to see if they have any, Indian, artifacts or memorabilia, just things that I could, hold on to. You know what I mean? So I could pass on to my children, because like I said, I'm gonna have some more. I have one son, but I definitely want some more children. You feel me? So with that being said, then another voice crept in and said, nah, Chief, just keep on going to Trader Joe's. Do what you got to do. So I kept on going. I traveled another mile. And then, boom, the ancestors came back saying, nah, Chief, you got to go to that store. All right. You got to go. You got to turn back. So I was obedient. I pulled up. I made a left, pulled up in another parking lot. And then I bust a U. All right. And I went back to that same spot. And I walked in. I asked a Caucasian lady, I'm looking for American Indian artifacts, anything that about American Indians. She was like, well, just walk around. If you see anybody, everybody have their own stores. So see if you could find anything. I said, cool. So I ran into a sister, right? Let me show you what I bought, right? So I asked her, I said, hey, sis, I'm looking for anything that's pertains to American Indians. So she said, well, you know what, man, I have this and that, but I only have these 2 dolls. So I was like, do you know that we are the original people? She said, of course. My grandmother told me we were Cherokee. And it's just amazing that we all have the same story. Okay, this cannot be something that people are just making up. Why would our elders lie to us and tell us this is what their grandmother told them, that their great grandmother told them? There has to be some truth to that. I mean, we all, 95% of us are saying the same thing. You feel me? So there has to be some validity. I mean, our elders are not just going to make these things up. Okay. So with that being said, she had 2 dolls. So like I was explaining to you guys earlier, one of the dolls one was really light and one was kind of copper brown skin. All right. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to take the one that more resembles closer to what it was. So this is her right here. I got to give her a name. Okay, so I actually bought this. I hope you guys could see this. All right, there's a slight delay. So, you'll see it, right here. Okay, so I bought this. You see the outfit and everything. You know what I mean? So I just want to start collecting things, so I could pass on. you know, because I don't want our culture to die. I don't want our history to die. Okay, she has the ponytail, you know what I mean? So I bought that from the sister. And I was like, well, is there any more stores around there that I could get, you know, any more? So she was like, well, you know what, there's a gentleman in the back, go check him out. Now that's when I ran into the elder. Man, I tell you, like, even as soon as I walk into the store, you know, all of a sudden, you know, the spirit, you know, my ancestors came over me and said, Chief, this is why you came here, to meet this elder. Okay. And it was just such a beautiful thing, man. And somebody said that's a $5 Indian. No, it's not, man. It's not. All right. That's definitely a copper colored, you know what I'm saying, you know, dog. All right. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. All right. I'm here to tell you about the experience. I'm not going to go back and forth with, I know what the dog represents. All right. So with that being said, you know, we had a great convo, and I want to talk about a few things in this video. And I know, well, let me just not say I know. It may rub some people the wrong way, but I have to speak the truth. And I'm coming from a place of love. I'm coming from a place of unification, like I said before. But the only way for there to be true unification, we have to be able to tell the truth. We have to walk in truth. Okay, we cannot afford to continue the perpetual lies, regardless of who is telling them. And there may be people who look like us that's telling the lies. All right, so we have to put things in perspective. All right, and and again, I'm doing this video because I know that heavy melanated people are being persecuted all over the world. Okay, I get that. I know that. However, our cousins on the African continent, there are still many of them who are actually miseducated as to who we are and our culture, and many of them don't like us. Okay, so I'm using this opportunity to speak of a few things, but I have to be very mindful as to how I speak the message and I deliver the message. Now, okay, and what I mean by that is, it's not that I'm going to hold back from telling the truth, but I'm doing this to make sure of course, my energy is in the right place, for sure. So I'm just going to tell it like it is. Okay, so I'm asking the ancestors to guide me, all right, in delivering this message. Okay, so here's the thing. All right, a lot of people may not know this, but our cousins on the African continent, they are our oldest and our most ancient enemies. Okay, a lot of people don't know that, and that is a fact. Okay, if you know the story, or the allegorical story of Cain and Abel and all these, you know, it's always either two brothers or two sisters, but whether it's two sister continents or two brother continents, in whatever context that it's being told, okay, it always signifies, or it's always symbolic to the American continent and the African continent. Africans are our oldest enemies. Okay, that is a fact. So a lot of Africans know the history, and they know this, and they know we are not them. Yes, we are all from the Negroid stock. Yes, but we are a different phenotype. Okay, we are a different phenotype, and we have to be very mindful that unification is indeed paramount. Okay, unification is indeed imperative. We have to have unification, but we have to make sure that the unification is done in truth and not lies. They have to acknowledge us and recognize us for who we are, and they know who we are. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple and a few, you know, what you might call it, extracts from a post, okay, or from other websites, that's showing you that a lot of Africans are saying that so-called Black Americans are actually culture biting. You see what I'm saying? And The truth of the matter is, again, they know we are not Africans. You feel me? And that's why a lot of them take it personal if it look like we are doing their dances or we're wearing their clothes. And a lot of our people don't realize that. Okay, a lot of our people don't realize that. So I'm doing this video again, not to cause separation, but to encourage unification. But at the same time, okay, respect have to be given. Okay, respect have to be given. And yes, they have been killing their own people. I mean, I'm talking about in the thousands. Just like how, we kill, we murder our own in the hood as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and let's take it from here. Okay, let's share this screen. Where am I at here? Give me a second here, guys. I'm going to share this screen. Okay. Share the screen, and let's go here. All right, so I'm going to show you guys. Let me know if you could see this. All right, I'm going to blow it up a little bit. Okay. And we're gonna read this. Okay. Now, once again, I'm just putting things in perspective. All right. This is not about, once again, promoting separation. Yes, we have to unite because it's apparent that we have the same common enemy: colonization. Okay, colonization is a big problem. Okay, denationalization is a big problem. Okay, so we have a common enemy in dealing with that. But until we as individuals, okay, learn to respect each other's cultures, okay, and realize that both cultures have always intermingled. So I don't think we should spend too much time worrying about who is doing what dance and who's wearing what clothes. Because even if, yes, we are ancient enemies, but we have to realize that we allowed another group or another set of people, ethnic groups, to step in, okay, to create havoc and chaos on this planet. And we have to come together to read, okay, these parasites, okay? And I'm not saying parasites. When I say parasites, I'm not, saying that to one particular ethnic group, because there are a lot of people who look like us that are also parasites. So I'm talking about an energy right now. I'm not talking about skin color. I'm talking about an energy. There's an energy, all right, that's going around, that's destroying Mother Earth, okay? And they are of every single race, culture, and ethnic group. So those of us who are on this spiritual journey to restore balance, okay, we all have to unite. I don't care where you're from. All right. So I just want to make sure that this message is not misconstrued. Okay. So here is this is from Urban on the cover and inside the Urban, Tigers, whatever that is. But anyway, it's a website. It's from 247 sports.com. And I'm gonna read. It says, okay. It says, Africans accuse Black Americans of culture appropriation. And once again, please, let us be respectful. This is not about promoting hate. I'm just letting you know and pointing out that they know that their culture is not our culture. Okay? They know that. It's only so-called Black Americans, all right, who don't know this. And they're fighting so hard to be Africans when Africans know that they are not Africans. All right? And that's a problem. Okay? So Africans accuse Black Americans of culture appropriation by Amos Tilton. A group of Kenyan men have told Black Americans to stop appropriating African culture by a series of high Black film and video being released by the movie and music industries. Okay? So one thing we have to realize, and if you go back to the video that I interviewed the gentleman, okay, the European that's claiming to be an Indian from the Cherokee Nation, you realize that he is stressing that Black people are from Africa. And you see, that's where we get caught up. We get caught up in a paradigm of being black. When you call yourself black and you are not black, okay, you are making yourself an immigrant in your own home. And not just that, within law, you are dead. You don't exist. Okay? So we have to be aware of that. The criticism is believed to be a response to songs like This Is America by Childish Gambino and the movie Panther, both having strong African influences. Wusun Kusan, who lives in Kenya capital, Nairobi, said he was tired of Black Americans appropriating their culture and acting like they know what it means to be African. And I totally agree with the man, because you don't know what it means to be African because you are not Africans. And once again, I am only here speaking truth, and I'm going to ask you to get out of your feelings and see the truth for what it is. Now, this is facts over feelings, okay? Facts over feelings. You don't know what it means to be African because you are not from Africa, okay? Now, Childish Gambino is about as African as Prince Harry, but for some reason, he thinks he can go around making noises in his videos. He said, you heard you. Now I'm going to read that again. This is what the man said. The man said that Childish Gambino is as African as Prince Harry. Okay? I mean, are you digesting what I'm telling you? Okay? Wusun Kosan, he lives in the capital of Nairobi. He's a true African. He's saying that Childish Gambino is as African as Prince Harry. And we all know that Prince Harry is not African. So what is he telling you? He's telling you that you are not African. And he's saying that he thinks he can go around making noises in videos. He said, you reckon he could find Nigeria on a map? He's saying, man, listen, this dude may not even be able to find Nigeria on a map. Just because they have the same color skin doesn't mean they are allowed to steal our culture. And that is what a lot of you are getting confused with. Okay? They taught you roots from a movie, tell you that you are African, and they keep promoting that. And here you are thinking that this is you. But true Africans know that you are not Africans. You feel me? They know that you are not. And he's saying it again. Just because they have the same color skin doesn't mean that they are allowed to steal our culture. So when you have people like Umar Johnson and, you know, the likes, and you have people like, you know, Boyce Watkins and all of them, and sometimes Pharaoh, back in the days he used to do it, okay, and now he's changing his narrative, but they're still pushing the black, okay? Because you have these people pushing the narrative that we are from Africa, pan-Africanism, all right, that is a form of genocide because we are not Africans. And once again, I'm not saying this because I have anything against our cousins. No, this is not what it is. It's about rendering onto, well, they say Caesar, we are not Caesar. So I'm going to say render onto the American Indian what is the American Indian. And I'm using the term American Indian very lightly here. Okay? Yes, we identify as American Indians, but we were not, or we are not American Indians. It's just that within the treaties, our ancestors accepted or the term that was coined, okay, as American Indians. But we all are clans people. And another thing, I spoke to a historian who's an elder. Okay, he know that he's Cherokee, and he actually agreed to do a live. So soon I'll be doing a live with a historian. And he told me that the word tribe, we never use the word tribe. The word tribe came from the other side. It came from Europe and Africa and those places. We use clans. So he said that we had families, okay? We had families, which is your immediate family. And once, you know, the invaders started coming in, we started to form clans. And from the clans, we formed nations, okay? So you see, our story has to be told in its proper context. And that's all I'm doing is bringing the truth to you, okay? That's it. So keep in mind, we never used the word tribes. We used clans. We had families, And from families, we form clans, and from clans, we form nations. Okay? Now, I'm going to continue reading. It says, Mr. Kusan also said that Black Americans singing and portraying people from Africa was just as bad as white dressing up in a black face. I watched Black Panther, and all I saw was a bunch of Black Americans in African face. Now, brothers and sisters, how can I be mad at this man for speaking the truth? You see, I'm not taking this personal, and that's what people do. When the truth is spoken, they get in their feelings and they take it personal, and then they start spewing hate. Now, a lot of you may dislike this video, but like I said, I don't do videos for likes. I do it for the love, and I do it because I want to speak the truth, and I want to continue to walk in the light, because that's the only way to truly honor my ancestors, is by telling the truth and telling their truth. Okay? Now I'm going to read that again. African face is very, it says, I watched Black Panther, and all I saw was a bunch of Black Americans in African faces. African face is very offensive to our people. They couldn't even get real Africans for the parts. They had to do Black Hollywood actors and pass them off as Africans. It was very offensive. And now I listen to Childish Gambino, and he's got Black Americans singing like us, African. Childish Gambino hit back at the claim, saying that although it was true, he had never been to Africa or even, let me see, and I'm trying to see, let me see if I could just bring that down a little so I could read the rest of this. Childish Gambino said that he's never been to Africa or even met an African. You hear what Childish Gambino said? He have never been to Africa or even met in Africa. That doesn't mean he's not allowed to steal elements of their culture. Now, whether Childish Gambino believes he's African or not, the truth of the matter is a lot of those cultures were actually intermingled. Okay, we shared some of their culture and they shared some of ours. Hence, they all singing hip hop nowadays, right? So should we get mad that they shouldn't do hip hop? Should we get mad that they shouldn't do soul music or rock and roll or even the drums? The drums didn't originate in Africa. Okay? So we have to stop once again with the hate. It's all culture. And that's when I agree that the unification must step in. All right? It must step in. But that history of Africans and Americans is older than a whole lot of y'all could even fathom. It goes thousands and thousands and thousands of years of bad blood between these two sisters or two brothers. It depends on who's telling the story. Okay? Now, he says, haha, white people can be accused of appropriation like that, he said. All right? So the gentleman is literally comparing us to so-called white people, okay, taking so-called African culture. All right? Now, I'm going to go to another one because I didn't want to just go to one source. There are other sources as well speaking of the same thing. All right, so I'm going to read another one. Okay, here we go. And this one is from www.rat.com. I put the link below so you could do more reading in, do some more profound reading, okay? Now, check this out. Accusing Black Americans of appropriating African culture clothing misses the point. All right, black hipsters have gravitated towards the tribal meets boho look for years now. Picture a Zoo Kravitz or Solange Knowles type hairstyle in a PC afro waist length braids or locks. Well, just for the record, locks is not indigenous to Africa. Locks is actually indigenous to the Americans because we are a different phenotype. So how can they accuse us of appropriating their hairstyles? All right. But once again, this is neither here or there. This is all culture of the original people of the planet. But just to emphasize again, this goes back further than people think it is. Okay. The history of Africa and America, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of years of bad blood. Okay, that's why it was so easy for other ethnic groups to step in and infiltrate. and use us against each other. We are living in a different time. We're in the 20th century, and we have to learn to come together and rid of this parasite that's destroying our planet. All right. Now it says, let me just go. It says, at Afropunk Festival in Brooklyn last month, every other attendee rocked some version of this look. But draping oneself in the colors of pan-African flag and sporting tribal tattoos isn't fashion forward, says African journalist Zipporah Jean. It's cultural appropriation. So you hear that? They're telling you, just because you put in a daishiki, it doesn't mean you're African. So brothers and sisters, you got to wake the hell up, okay? Stop listening to these pan-Africanists, all right? Stop listening to them. They are lost, they are confused, and a lot of them that are actually high profile, they are getting paid to fool you and lie to you to make you think that you are African. Because Africans do not take lightly to you or us, okay, using their clothing or even practicing their dances. We have to, yes, our culture, our identity, our traditions were stolen from us. But what we have to realize that over 90% of our tradition is being held with these natives because they had to take it from us so that they could continue to perpetuate the lie. So what do I say? Look at the natives and take back our culture from them. Start exposing them. Okay, take back our culture. So now we have something to identify that's ours. So we won't be blamed or be accused for culture appropriation. Okay? Now, it's cultural appropriation, the sister said. Even she insists when African Americans do it. In a recent screed called Black America, Please Stop Appropriating African Clothing and Tribal Marks, Jim takes African Americans to task for wearing African garb to events such as Afropunk with no real understanding of their religious and historical significance. Okay? I am not trying to start a war. That's what they are saying. I'm not trying to start a war, but I would just like you all to realize the hypocrisy of seeing someone wearing a Fulani septum ring, rocking a jalaba painted with Yoruba-like tribal marks, all the while claiming that this meant to be respectful, states Jean in the piece. It's a hodgepodge, a juxtaposition, a right mess of regional, ethnic, and cultural customs, and it screams ignorance and cultural insensitivity. So they're telling you when you're rocking their clothing and their marks, you are being insensitive because it's not yours. But you guys are so hard-headed. You have been so brainwashed. You are fighting to be something that you are not. Okay? And that's why you are dead spiritually. That is why you are dead spiritually. You are literally the walking dead. Okay? You are literally the walking dead because you have no self-identification. You don't know who you are. You are lost. All right? Jean may not have intended. Well, I did say we are not lost. We are finding ourselves. So let me digress a little bit. Okay? We are finding ourselves. Okay? We are not lost. A lot of us may be miseducated, but I'm not going to put it out there. We are lost. We are finding ourselves. I want to start putting positive affirmations out there. So we are finding ourselves. All right. Now, Jean may not have intended to start a war, but the backlash from her article has been fierce for criticizing what blisters wore to Afropunk. She's been accused of inflaming tensions between Africans and African Americans. You see, we have to stop calling ourselves African Americans because we are not African Americans. That is the problem. Attacked for dating a white man and labeled a race traitor. Okay, now she's dating a Caucasian man, but she's mad at us, so-called African Americans, for wearing African clothing, but she's dating a Caucasian man. Wow, such hypocrisy. But the name calling ignores the provocative or the provocative, if not totally fair, questions her piece posed. Is Black America appropriating African fashion traditions, is that even possible? Now, while Jean, who never identifies her ethnicity in the piece, certainly thinks so, the reality of the matter is far more complicated than she presents. For one, she reduces cultural appropriation to an act that occurs when people borrow the clothing, jewelry, and makings of groups to which they don't belong. That's part of the story, but not its entirety. If you're not from an African tribe, please leave of wearing the tribal marks, she says, ignoring the fact that the ancestors of American blacks did belong to African tribes. Now, you see, that's where the miseducation comes in. The majority of us are not from African tribes like they are portraying to be, that the lie that's being told. And that's why a lot of real Africans are taking it personal, because they know we are not from Africa. It is the media that's pushing the narrative that we are Africans, the schools, the education that they are teaching our children. And that's why we have to correct the narrative. We have to make a paradigm shift as to our own identity and who we are, because we know that's not us. We didn't come here into the Americas on slave ships. We were already here. And once again, our elder clearly articulated that in the video prior to this one. Okay? And I will get into that a little more. All right? Thanks to the peculiar institution of slavery, which incredibly Gina never mentions, the average African American can't trace her roots to a particular tribe without the help of a DNA test. All right. Now, even when you do this mainstream DNA test, what they do, they put you in Africa because it's all planned. It's all part of a grand scheme, okay, to keep us away from our birthright, which is our land, okay, our land. Yet, it's well documented that the forefathers of African American blacks largely hailed from West Africa, where the slave trade flourished. Now, that is incorrect. It may have some validity partially, because the mothers of so-called black African Americans, they are American Indians. But what it was, a lot of these slave men from Africa who were slaves, in order for them to get their freedom, they had to marry American Indian women. Okay? So yes, a lot of us still have some African ancestry, but we are not Africans mixed with Indians. No, we are Indians with some African ancestry. The narrative has to be told in its proper context. Okay? So I have that in the link below, so I'm gonna leave that alone for now. And I'm gonna come back to the live. Okay, let me just go back here and stop sharing here for a second. You are sharing the screen. Let us stop sharing the screen, and we're gonna get back to the video itself. Okay. Where are we? Okay. All right, good. So I know this is a very touchy subject. All right. And once again, let me just make my disclaimer. This is not about inciting any type of negative feelings towards our cousins on the African continent. That is not what it's about. I personally believe that we are at a juncture in our existence, in our reality, where, if more than anything, we need to unite even more. Okay? We need to unite even more. You feel me? Okay? So, which brings me to my point, which is the video that I spoke to the elder earlier on that video. So let us get into that video here for a second. Okay, clearly our elder knows his history, and it wasn't something that he read in a book. Okay, it wasn't something that he read in a book. It was oral history that was passed down to him by his grandmother. He clearly stated that, okay, and he spoke with authority that his grandmother was full-blooded Blackfoot, and she was dark-skinned. Okay, that the original people of the land were dark-skinned, and they were not slaves. Okay, he spoke on it very fluently, and he wasn't stuttering. And that is our traditional story, opposed to his story that keeps telling us the lies. Okay? That keep telling us the lies. So the elder said that, and he eloquently stated that his grandmother was free. They had the land, they had the farms, okay? And they had slaves. Slaves did exist. And those slaves was from Africa, because I had to make sure I ask. So when you start reading this Dawes Rose and you start going into the history, you start hearing about the freedman, just like how when Autochthonous One was breaking down my video, he was right. He articulated it correctly. The freedman was the Indian, okay? And they were dark skinned. That's why the Africans, the slaves, were able to come amongst us and hide amongst us, and they couldn't tell the difference between the African and the American Indian. So that's another reason how we know for a fact that these so-called natives are not the original people of this land. Because if they were, an African couldn't hide amongst them and pass for an Indian. You feel me? Okay? So with that being said, if his mother was an Indian and she has always been free, she was always free, she fell in love with an African. But here's the thing, here's the key point. Even if they were married, the slave, the African slave, wasn't allowed to leave the plantation to go be with his wife. She only had visitations on Sunday. Does it remind you of something to this day? Does it remind you of jails? Huh? When your boyfriend or your baby daddy or your husband gets locked up, what they do? They put him in jail, and you get what's called conjugal visits. Brothers and sisters, it is the same system. Okay, the jails is the same system as slavery. They have to put our men in jail, and then our women do what? They have to go get visits. It's the same thing. They cannot leave the jail and come home. Same situation. The Africans were the slaves, not us. Eventually, some of us became enslaved. Yes, that is a fact. Okay, but however, we were already here and we were free. The freedman was the Indians, but they like to play these semantics. They like to play these games with us. But I'm here to unravel the truth and give it to you as raw as I can. And like I said, it's facts over feelings. Okay? It's facts over feelings. So the elder knew his story. And back then, the Indians, we carried guns. You feel me? You see, even up to this present day, we have a right to bear arms. But the reason why you cannot bear arms is because you are Black and you are African American. So those rights are not allocated to you, or you are not allowed to have those rights. You only have privileges that can be taken away from you. Okay? But the moment we step back into our true identity, then that means they have no authority over us. They have no jurisdiction over us, the same way they had no jurisdiction over us back in the days. You feel me? Okay? You heard what the elder said. They had no authority over the Indians, no authority whatsoever, but they had authority over their slaves, which was the Africans. Okay? So Africans know that they are not us. When they came here as slaves, they had to marry American Indians. As a matter of fact, the first concept of a mulatto wasn't so-called black and white. It was actually American Indian and African. That was the first concept of a mulatto. And then within, I would say another year or less, a few years or less, okay? Then that concept of mulatto was applied and coined to dark skin and pale face or Caucasian, okay? But the first mulatto was actually an African and an American Indian, okay? Two dark skin races, okay, of the Negroid stock, but two different phenotypes. That was the first mulatto. You feel me? Now, I specifically ask our elder, were Moors, and once let me, my disclaimer here, to the Moors, I just want to say this, okay? I have the utmost respect for anybody who calls themselves a Moor, or who actually identify as a Moor, or who is a Moor, all right? So I have to make my disclaimer, because what I'm about to say right now, that may rub some people the wrong way, but it's okay, because I'm here to only speak the truth, all right? So for the Moors that are out there, I have to say that I appreciate the fact that you have a lot of the knowledge, okay? You have a lot of the knowledge, especially when it comes to civics and laws and the Constitution and all those things in the courts. I totally get that. I respect that. Thank you for that, okay? Because you guys played a vital role in us Aborigines becoming aware, okay, of who we are. I have to say that, even if I grew up knowing that my grandmother knew that I was a Carib, and then doing extensive research, I found out that I have a lot of Cherokee blood in me, okay? So that ties me to the mainland, and I have all the proof of that. However, I have to speak on the Moors here, okay? And this is not to separate us. Once again, it is more important, and it's more significant, and it's more, I mean, I wouldn't even know how to articulate it to show how important it is for us to unite, because right now we have a common problem. We have a common problem, but in the essence of coming together, the truth have to be told, because the only way for America to be great again is for that the original Americans to be restored, okay? And unless that happens, there will always be chaos, okay? Because an indigenous tree that is from Africa will not flourish in America the way it's supposed to flourish naturally, okay? Vice versa. A tree that's indigenous to the Americas will not flourish in Africa the way it's supposed to flourish in its natural habitat. So with that being said, America will never flourish until the original people of this land are put back in their place, because it's a spiritual thing. So this is my message to the Moors. Our ancestors knew that Moors were here before colonization, or before the inception of the pale man, okay? Oh, my elder that I spoke to earlier clearly articulated that, okay? So Moors are indigenous to this land. However, Moors are not the aboriginals of this land. And I'm saying that with love, again, not to separate us, but the truth has to be told, okay? And our elder clearly knew that our ancestors did not call ourselves Moors, okay? He knew that. He knew that he was an Indian, and when he said, the Moors were here, however, Moors are from Africa. And then what it was, Moors ruled Spain for 711 years, and when they lost their reign, they went and they were the pirates of the sea. And what they did, they came here. And what they did, they worked with the United States to build structures, okay? Washington, D.C. All those structures are exact replicas of the buildings in Europe when the Moors were ruling Europe, okay? So what does that mean? It is safe to assume that the Moors worked with the United States, okay? They worked with the United States. So today, we have a lot of Moors saying that they are the Aborigines of this land, which is clearly not so. Yes, they are indigenous, but they are not the original people, all right? So I'm saying all that to say, with no disrespect whatsoever, okay? We have to unite, but we have to unite in truth. Because the only way this is going to work is for the truth to be told. Is for the truth to be told. Render unto the American Indian what is the American Indian, okay? I don't mind working with Moors, because we have to unite, okay? I want to work with the Moors, but please tell the truth, because we cannot, as American Aboriginals, we cannot end up in the same position that we ended up in before. We cannot fall for the trap again, thinking that you guys are with us, you're working with us, and then after we defeat the enemy, you're going to fight us for what's ours. Okay? We cannot fall into that trap again. So if you are stepping up into this spiritual awareness, this spiritual consciousness, and you are about telling the truth and living the truth, then speak the truth. Okay? Speak the truth. Render unto the American Indian what is the American Indian. And stop saying we are all Moors, because we are not all Moors. Okay? And again, I'm saying that with all love and respect. Facts over feelings. So I just wanted to get that out. Okay? This is not to create separation, but this is to tell the truth. Okay? Moors and Africans, yes, they are the same, but they are from Northern Africa. Okay? And just like how you have the Blackamoors are from Britain, they were the Brits, the original Britons. Okay? They were the original Britons, the Blackamoors. So I have all due respect for you guys, but at the ending of the day, how should I feel about you working with the United States, creating all these structures in our land, and a system was created to enslave my people? So I could say, let bygones be bygones, which I'm willing to do, and come together and work together, but not under the false pretense or disguise of saying that we are all Moors and this is your land. No, you may be indigenous to the land because you were here before colonization, and that's all indigenous means. But to be an Aborigine, it means that you have always been here from time immemorial, and that's something that you cannot say. Yes, we have been trading and mixing with each other for a very, very long time. Okay, but render unto the American Indian what is the American Indian. All right? Because if you worked with the US in the past and you have all these treaties with the US in the past to prevent us from getting what's ours, to fight us, then who's to say it may not happen again? And don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for the knowledge that a lot of you guys are dropping. I mean, man, listen, you guys know the information, because like our elders said, what? Our elders said that the American Indians didn't know how to read English because we didn't have a written history. Okay? No, we didn't have a written history. Most of our history was oral. So they learned to read from the Bible. Just like the elder said, the Bible is the Caucasian man book, but our people will not leave it alone and put it down. But I'm not going to turn this into religion. Okay? The truth of the matter is the Africans learned the Bible even before our ancestors, because our ancestors were free. They were free. And what they did was the slave master taught the Africans about the Bible and taught them how to be pastors and priests and bishops so that they could come into and assimilate with the American Indians and teach them how to be Christians. Okay? You guys got to know the history in its proper perspective. Hence, the reason why there's churches on every corner, still misleading our people. So I just had to get that clear. But at the same time, I want to make sure I deliver the message without any type of animosity. I have no animosity against the Moors. I know that it was in your nature, okay, to go into different places and even fight against your own. You did that. It was in your nature. You guys are pirates by nature. I get that. Okay? I get it. The past is the past. I'm willing to forget the past. And when I say forget the past, it doesn't mean that I'm willing to repeat the same mistakes or the errors that our ancestors made. Okay? So moving forward, we could work together, but working together, you have to give respect to the American Aborigine, okay? And acknowledge them as the original people of the land, okay? Because we are not going to allow you to step in and be a pirate in our land. We can't do that anymore, because that means there will still be chaos. We have a long history, okay, of us being enemies. Now we are living in a complete different era. Now it's time for togetherness, but at the same time, we have to respect each other's culture. We have to respect each other's position. If you come into my home, respect my house. And this is our house. This is our home. And all I'm just saying is respect it. Okay? Stop perpetuating the lie that we are all Moors. All right? Because we are not. So with that being said, I'm going to leave that alone. And, hopefully, we all could learn, okay, from the lessons and the truth that's coming from our elders. Okay? I didn't read this in a book. I heard it from an elder who lived the experience, who saw the elder is 83 years old. Okay? 83 years old. So you do the math. See how long he's been here. And he got stories from his grandmother. So if he's 83, okay, and he got stories from his parents, and he got stories from his grandparents, do the math and see how far back that went. And if he's telling you that there was a difference between Africans and Indians, and there was a difference between Moors and Indians, who are you going to believe? Who are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the lies that's being told right now? Or are you going to believe your elder who lived it? Well, guess what? I choose the latter. I'm going to believe my elder. And he told me he has a book for me. All right. So, and he also has an organization, a nonprofit that's helping young people that's getting in trouble. So I told him, you know what? I will come back and I'll help him out. I'm going to assist. I'm going to play my part. So once again, I hope, I'm not going to say I know, I hope that this message, okay, doesn't rob the Moors the wrong way. And some people might say, well, Chief, you shouldn't care. I do care. I do care. And I'll tell you why I care. I care because we are all facing the same demise. Okay, we are all facing the same demise, that we are facing the same detriments from the hands of the colonizers. Okay, granted that they trusted the colonizers in the past, hoping that they could have gotten rid of us, all right, and that the colonizer would stick to his treaty, the deal that he made with them. But what happened was the colonizers cannot be trusted. The paleface cannot be trusted. So the paleface went against their word. They betrayed the Moors. Okay? They betrayed the Moors and turned and enslaved them. They didn't honor those treaties. You feel me? They didn't honor it. So now the Moors are stepping up, trying to regain their status and try to become a power. But what they're doing in the midst of doing that, they want to include all the so-called Indians and call all of us Moors so that we could come up and fight against the system. But when that happens, what's going to happen? Are you going to turn around and fight against us and say, well, hey, we tricked y'all. Y'all are the Indians and we're from Africa. We are actually Moors and you are Indians. So now we're going to fight you. Is that going to happen? Because that's what happened in the past. So I'm just making sure that I have to educate my people. And we are all peoples. But I'm talking about my immediate bloodline, all American Aborigines, about the truth so that we don't repeat, okay, the errors of the past. However, I agree, okay, with a lot of my, my peers that we have to come together and we have to work together. But with that being said, the truth has to be told and the respect has to be given as the original people of the land. Okay? So if you guys have anything else to build on that, please do. But I just thought in my spirit, once again, this is the message that my ancestors wanted me to convey. And I just hope that they're pleased and they are honored that I delivered the message the way that they wanted me to, because, I'm just speaking from the heart. All right. Okay. So truth of the matter is, we have to unite. Unification is imperative. Okay. And whether it may be just with, I don't care who it is. All right. There are people who are actually of the pale skin race and they know the truth, and they are tired of the lies because it's eating up their spirit. Okay. And like I said, I'm willing to work with anyone who is actually about the truth. Okay. And that's just what it is. You feel me? So you guys, if you want to support the channel, if you want to support the work that I'm doing, the super chat is right here at the link. Please, support. And the truth of the matter is, yes, I totally agree. I'm not going to trust the people who have done this to us. I'm not going to trust them. But at the same time, I'm willing to work with people, you see what I'm saying, for a better future. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to trust. All right. Oh, absolutely. There are a lot of other religions that's misleading our people. Okay. As a matter of fact, all those religions are misleading our people. That's the truth of the matter. So we just got to keep it real. You feel me? So with that being said, give me a second. Let me just share something with you guys before I leave. Okay. And I'm only seeking truth, man. That's all I'm about. You feel me? That's all I'm about. I don't have time for the games. I don't have time for that. No time for lies. We got to start speaking the truth, because once again, it's the only way that this is going to happen. There can't be half a truth. There cannot be some truth. We cannot move forward under this pretense. We can't do that. It has to be organic. It has to be natural. It has to be truthful. All right. And that's where I'm at with it. Okay. So at this time, I'm gonna put my Cash App in the link. So any of you guys that feel that you want to support, you want to donate, the super chat is there. My Cash App is in the link. Feel free. If my channel is giving you information that's being helpful to you, if the videos are literally being is blissful to your growth, then feel free to give back. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great continuation, and I hope you receive this video with the energy that that I gave it. I gave it out of love. Okay, it's not from a place of malice or a place of division, but it's a place of telling the truth and knowing that each and every one of us have our place. Okay, the same way that Africa was meant for Africans, the same way that Europe was made for Europeans, the same way that Asia was made for Asians, America was made for the American Indians. All right. And it's time that the American Indians are restored. Okay. So with that being said, continue to do your due diligence and find out the clans and the tribes that your family came from. Ask the ancestors to guide you. They will guide you. A lot of work is being done behind the scenes. Okay. So continue to grow, continue to stay truthful. All right. Somebody said, when y'all going to realize that you cannot work with the truth, you have to fight with the truth. Working is just sitting there looking at things happen. Fighting with the truth is meaning that I'm not going to fight with the truth. I mean, let me tell you something, family. All right. How are you going to fight with the truth? It's like fighting against the universe. Okay. You have to work. It's about a relationship, a synergetic relationship. Okay. When you fight against anything that's natural, you're going to lose. So if you choose to fight with the truth, that's on you. But I'm not going to fight with the truth. I'm going to live in the truth. All right. Truth is light. So I'm going to walk in the light. I'm not going to fight against the light. All right. So you have to know the spiritual ramifications of fighting with truth and fighting with the light. All right. So with that being said, let us walk in the truth. Let us not fight it. How are you going to fight something that's natural, something that's inevitable? The truth will come to light. Just continue to walk in it. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. But don't fight it. You fight with the truth. Trust me, you're going to lose. And I'm not just telling you from a perspective of a belief. I'm telling you it's a fact. Okay? You cannot fight the truth. Walk in the truth. Work with the truth. Embrace the truth. Is the only way it's going to happen. And just know that we are victorious. What we are doing is just stepping into ourselves. Okay? Just be the truth and that's it. As long as we're being truthful, There's no malice, there's no animosity, there's no hate, there's no jealousy, and walk in the truth. I promise you, okay, things will be restored the way it was meant to be. Like it says, the first shall be the last, and the last shall be the first. Okay? So that's it. All right. So family, once again, thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have a blissful continuation. Please share the videos, share the information, and let's continue to grow. I will be doing a video real soon, you know, with the historian who's an elder. He said it, you know, he would definitely come on and share some of our story. And I'm actually looking forward to that. Like I said, I'm doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and it's a beautiful time to be alive. It's a beautiful time to be, you know, an American Aborigine. It's a beautiful time, man. And I feel good. You know, I'm just so blessed and honored, you know, and so, man, I can't even put that in words. You feel what I'm saying? But at the ending of the day, we are okay. All right. And just keep that in mind before I conclude. All right. Because we are stepping back into our truth and who we truly are, and we are walking in the light. Remember, we still live in a world of duality. All right. Not that we know darkness is not going to prevail. We know this, but just know that they are going to come, and they're going to be throwing their energies, and, you know, the obstacles will continue to come. But just know that you are strong. You are a deity, and you will overcome. Don't give up. All right. Keep on fighting that good fight. All right. Stand up, be strong. That's our nature. It's in our nature. Our DNA is being reactivated, and they are afraid of that. So be mindful. Okay. Change the way you eat, change the way you think, change the way you deal with each other. Let us learn to love each other again. Uplift the brother, uplift the sister. Okay. And let us learn to embrace each other again. When you see your brother hurting, know that that's your pain. When you see a sister hurting, know that that's your pain. When you see our children are being misled and they're hurting, know that someone else's child is your child. Let us go back to being a community. Let us go back to being a people again. All right? It's the only way it's going to happen. Let us learn to support each other again. If you have $1, then don't be afraid to split it in 4 ways. Give a brother a quarter. Give a sister a quarter. Make sure that they could eat as well. Family is the only way it's going to happen, is by walking in light and by walking in truth. Nothing else is going to happen. And it doesn't matter what the enemy does. Let us not look at the enemy as the enemy, because that means you are giving them life. Okay? Let us look at them like as if they don't even exist. We could be aware of them, but let's not give them their energy. Let us not give them our energy. Let us go back to what's natural. Okay? And that's all it is, man. So once again, thanks and praise and honor to the ancestors. Give thanks to the Great Spirit. And with that being said, I'm going to conclude. You guys have a great continuation. We'll talk soon. All right. And thank you for playing your part, to each and every one of you. All right. Peace, love, harmony, and light. Well, wholesomeness, not peace. Wholesomeness. All right. I'm tired of us being in pieces. So I'm going to say wholesome love, harmony, and light. We'll talk soon. Wada.